So the podcasting purists amongst you, or the audio production experts amongst you, will probably already know this stuff. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm not going to show you something that you don't already know. But for those who are maybe starting out, or for those who are maybe haven't got such a deeper level of experience in terms of audio production and podcast production, etc., I want to share something that might be potentially useful for you guys. So I've just got off a Zencastr recording session. I'm doing sounds a bit grandiose, but I'm the exec producer on an upcoming podcast I'm working with in conjunction with a PR agency. So it's very exciting. There's some really interesting content. We're talking with some of the leading people in the health tech, innovation and medical space. So some of these conversations that these guys are having, I understand like 0.5% maximum, but they're really genuinely interesting conversations. But what I'm doing now is I'm post-production, I'm doing the editing of that podcast. So with Zencastr, you actually get a recording from each individual person. So I send out the Zencastr link. And for example, today we had a fantastic doctor and entrepreneur on, and we've also got the host of the show. So I'm recording both of those people, but I'm recording them in separate files. So what that means that at the end of the recording session in high quality, and that's why I use Zencastr because it's much higher quality than something like a Zoom, for example, I can download both of those files, import both of those files into my editing software, and then I can utilize both of those files within the recording. So let me share my screen with you and I'll share exactly what I am talking about and you guys will get a better understanding. So here we go. So you're now seeing my screen. Let me move my little face out of the corner just in case you can see that. So here's how it will sound at the moment. Let me just quickly pull my head. So at the moment, here's how the podcast would sound if I was to leave it as it is.
These innovations are a magic bullet for everything, but there needs to be a balance in between, probably more so towards how we're doing things today compared to how we were before.
Yes. So that sounds very reasonable. We're talking about innovation.
So that section there where the host of the show is, so there's a bit of filler content, there's no mega value. I want to edit that out. Now, ordinarily, if you're just editing in one single file, if you're using something like an Audacity, which is what I always utilize and tell my clients to utilize, because it's simple, it's cheap, well, it's free, and it's really, really simple to use. And again, the podcast purists will probably be like, oh, why is he not using Adobe? Or why is he not using Cubase or GarageBand or something like that? Well, not everybody has got the budget to utilize one of those software platforms. Not everyone has got the expertise to utilize one of those software platforms. So I always teach people use Audacity because it's dead simple, it's free, and you can pick up the basics, the real podcasting basics within about half an hour. So for example, if I wanted to just edit one particular section of the content, I'd highlight the whole section and maybe I wanted to chop that bit out because that's the bit of filler, and then that would be gone. Or I could potentially click here, click generate, and I can make it silent if I wanted to, and I can make that section disappear. However, if I want to make sure that I'm editing, so for example, let's look at this. So if I edit this section here and delete it, I've now moved the bottom file, but I haven't moved the top file. So now everything else is going to be out of line if I undo that. So what you can do with Audacity, and this is a little hack that I've picked up, and again, I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but let's say this is the bit where I want to start the audio from again. Let's find, there you go, so let's zoom in there. So that's where I want the content to start from. So if I now highlight this section here, obviously if I delete this section, as I said, I'm going to make it go out of sync with the other audio that's above it. However, if I click Command, Up and K, you can see there that I'm now editing onto both files. So anything that I now do, so any action I now take will happen across the whole feed, if that makes sense, or happen across the whole edit. So I could make, if I wanted to make it a lot louder, for example, no, that's the wrong button. If I wanted to make it a lot louder, for example, I could turn it up by 20 and it will do it to both pieces of audio. You can see that there, but I obviously don't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to get rid of that section. So what I do now, if I click delete, you can see both the top and the bottom file both moved along. So I've done the edit, exactly the same edit to both parts of the edit, if that makes sense, for both parts of the audio. So now I haven't knocked one piece of audio out of sync with another. So we listen to the end of this now.
We're talking about innovation, obviously, and we're talking about the challenges.
There you go. Hope that's useful. Again, I haven't reinvented the wheel here, and some of you guys will be like, oh my God, why are you teaching people that kind of basic stuff? But there's a lot of instances where I've worked with brand new clients and brand new people who've never used editing audio software before, that these kind of simple stuff, or what you might perceive as simple, is actually a little bit of a tricky challenge. So hope that's useful. That's how you edit multiple things on multiple channels at the same time if you're using Audacity. And again, if you watch this whole video, you're like, oh, where's the bit he actually talked about? The bit he was talking about, click Command up and K if you're using a Mac, and that's the shortcut to do things to all of the tracks within the audio field. Hope that's useful, guys. And I'll be back with more useful stuff. And by the way, if you are a podcast purist, if you don't think that's useful, just don't say anything. There's no need for it. Bye.